Hello and welcome to this week's edition of WION-VOA co-production. I'm your host, Susan Tehrani, coming to you live from New York City. We begin with a look at the path to confirmation for the incoming White House team under President-elect Donald Trump. U.S. senators on Capitol Hill will soon be weighing in on President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks, with many of the nominees facing questions about their beliefs and qualifications. The confirmation process could look different this time around. VOA's congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson reports from Washington, D.C.
Make a hold, please.
The traditional process in the nation's capital. President-elect Donald Trump's nominees for key cabinet positions meeting with the U.S. senators who will decide if they should be confirmed.
Your 8 years and previous experience to being Attorney General of Florida for 8 years prepares you, I'm sure, well for this job.
Trump's pick to lead the U.S. State Department, Republican Senator Marco Rubio, is expected to be confirmed.
The president sets foreign policy. Our job at state will be to execute.
But Pete Hegseth, Trump's pick to lead the Pentagon, has never held a leadership position in the military. He was a host on the conservative Fox News network.
We're putting the warfighters first. That's what Donald Trump asked me to do. Your job is to bring a warfighting ethos back to the Pentagon.
Hegseth is one of several nominees with a history of controversial policy remarks that some Republican senators could have a hard time confirming.
Incoming President Trump needs to not just assume they're going to fall in line, because you might have some that even on the Republican side, if they are not given their due diligence or their due deference, they can make his life really tough.
The incoming Senate Majority Leader, Republican John Thune, pledged to swiftly hold votes on Trump's nominees.
We will do everything we can to process his noms quickly, get them installed in their position so they can begin to implement his agenda.
But Trump has proposed installing appointees while the Senate is in recess, a sometimes controversial maneuver to bypass lawmakers' constitutional role of approving nominees.
What if the president tried to intentionally adjourn Congress using that power in order to make recess appointments? That's never happened. But when he says that he wants to make them, the only way he could possibly force that would be to force the adjournment of Congress. But that's going to wind up in the courts.
Republican senators are already pushing back.
Well, that's another whole issue. Obviously, I don't think we should be circumventing the Senate's responsibilities.
U.S. presidents of both parties have made recess appointments, but the Supreme Court limited that ability during the term of President Barack Obama. Catherine Gibson, VOA News, Washington.
All right, joining us now with additional reporting is Virginia Gunawan. She's live for us from Trump Tower here in New York City. Welcome to the show. Virginia, here in New York City, there's a lot of curiosity around President-elect Trump's picks for his economic agenda. Who will lead the Treasury, Commerce, and Trade portfolios?
Yes, Susan. And also, it is not a surprise when President-elect Donald Trump announced his plan about increasing tariffs to imported goods, 10%, additional 10% to imported goods from China, and 25% to goods from Mexico and Canada. This is something that he has been promising throughout his campaign. The tariff man has been saying that the tariff is going to be his tool to not only increase the revenue of the federal government, but also to punish the countries that have not been friendly to the United States through trade. Now, who are the key people to help him navigating this condition or situation in his upcoming cabinet? There are 3 people that have been picked or nominated by the President-elect Donald Trump, and the people that he elected or he nominated for Secretary of Treasury is Scott Bessent, and he is a hedge fund executive. He's very well known in New York City, especially on Wall Street. Also, he has been in numerous interviews mentioning his support for cutting budget deficits and also deregulations. In also many of his interviews, he's also mentioning about Trump's tariff, and he sees it as a tool for the president to achieve the president's foreign policy goals. So he is in line with Trump when it comes to tariffs. If his nomination is being confirmed by the Senate, he will be the first openly gay cabinet member of Trump's cabinet. Now, the second one is Howard Lutnick, and he is being picked by Donald Trump as the Secretary of Commerce. He is also well known in the community, financial community, as the CEO of a financial service firm that works primarily on cryptocurrency and crypto investing. This is something that he has been advocating for a very long time. And since the nominations of these two people, we also noticed that the price of Bitcoin has been the highest in its record. I've never seen before. It reached up to $100,000 right now per Bitcoin. So this is a big news for the cryptocurrency community. The third nominations that has been picked by Donald Trump, that is Jamieson Greer for the U.S. Trade Representative. He is not a new person in this field. He was a chief of staff for the U.S. Trade Representative in Trump's first-term cabinet, and he is also the key person in negotiating tariffs when it comes to negotiating tariffs to countries and making it happen. So there is a continuity from what Trump did on his first term and how he's going to carry through his second term. The common thread for the three people that we talk about, the common thread that the three people that Trump...
I'm sorry, I need to move on to the next question. I just want to ask you a question about, sorry to cut you off. What are the prospects for confirmation by the Senate from these people that you just mentioned?
Now, overall, these three people have no objections, no apparent objections. Bessent himself, the Secretary Treasury, has been given a lot of bipartisan support, and also among the CEO in the United States and also investing community is very warmly welcome his nominations. Now, the only problem or the only thing that will be probably different from the two other nominations is Lutnick. He is might be in questions of the potential conflict of interest when it comes to his firm and what he has been doing in the past, and how he is going to regulate also the same type of sector in this, including the cryptocurrency or crypto regulating, and also how he's going to navigate through in regulating several other businesses that might have been closely related to President-elect Donald Trump. Susan.
All right, Virginia, thank you so much for all of those. And please do stay with us. I'd love to get your opinion on our next story as well from your colleagues at Voice of America. Electric vehicle manufacturers are hoping for continued growth under President-elect Donald Trump, especially as Tesla CEO Elon Musk now appears to be one of his top advisors. Virginia Dalton has our next story from the Los Angeles Auto Show.
Earlier in his presidential campaign, Donald Trump bashed Joe Biden for backing electric vehicles.
Think of this. He wants electric vehicle mandates that will spell the death of the U.S. auto industry.
In his campaign's closing month, Trump got a big boost from electric vehicle CEO Elon Musk.
He created the first major American car company in generations, and his rocket company is the only reason we can now send American astronauts into space. Come here. Take over, Elon. Just take it.
As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
Since Trump's win, Musk has agreed to join his new government to help improve efficiency. Musk has also seen share prices for his electrical vehicle firm Tesla jump more than 25% since Election Day, topping $1 trillion in market value for the first time in 2 years. So what are electric vehicle manufacturers expecting from a Trump team that includes the Tesla chief? At the LA Auto Show, Shiv Sekant is showing off the quad-motor, all-electric Draco supercar.
It's super exciting to think that, Elon is there and, the president is, taking it very seriously, and I think will be very powerful for American industry, not just electric cars, right across the spectrum. Our goal is to be more competitive, particularly, in the threat of foreign competition.
With Trump promising import tariffs, electric vehicles built in the United States may be more competitive. South Korean automaker Hyundai will build its Ioniq 9 electric truck in the U.S. state of Georgia, says company spokesman Miles Johnson.
An Ioniq 9 will be built there. There are 2 battery joint venture plants going into Georgia as well. So the batteries will be sourced in the U.S. market and the vehicles will be produced in the U.S. market. So we're committed to the U.S. market.
Electric vehicle manufacturers are also mindful that Trump may end the $7,500 federal tax credit for EV buyers. John Thomas of Ampere Charging Systems says it is part of the market's evolution.
Hopefully you're not incentivizing something forever, right, at the end of the day. Hopefully the incentive is what kicks off an industry, and then you slowly pull that back. And I think that's been things we've seen in Europe.
The vehicle guide Kelley Blue Book says a record 1.2 million electric vehicles were sold in the United States last year, accounting for more than 7% of the total U.S. vehicle market. Jenny Adulo, VOA News, Los Angeles.
All right, we still have Virginia with us live from New York City in front of Trump Tower. Virginia, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy were on Capitol Hill just yesterday outlining their plans for the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. What did we learn?
Yeah, there's a key distinction here where we're saying about Musk and Ramaswamy position is completely different from the previous people that we talked about. These 2 people do not need Senate confirmation, even though if they do need Senate confirmation right now, Republican is holding the Senate majority, so there's no problem at all. And it is rarely for presidential nominees not to get confirmed by the Senate. Now, the thing is with Elon Musk and Ramaswamy, they are essentially do not need the confirmation because although it's called the department, but it is a different and distinctive panel. It's called a presidential advisory panel, and they do not need the Senate confirmation, and they are not going to get paid. So this is, and as we know, the 2 of them are already billionaires themselves. So they also have a plan, especially Elon Musk has been saying that he has a plan to cut down at least to $2 trillion. That's 2 trillion with the P. To make the government more efficient. This is something that he has been touting about. The question is how he's going to do it, how he's going to, which department or which budget that he's going to put in the chopping block when it comes down to efficiency and making the government more compact. Susan.
Yeah, in Virginia, what has been the reaction on Capitol Hill regarding these cost-cutting measures that they've been mentioning?
Well, the Republican lawmakers has come up with the DOGE caucus. So it will be a caucus specifically looking forward and working with Musk and Ramaswamy when it comes to making the government more efficient. The Democrats has been asking and requesting for Elon Musk to testify and to be questioned about what his plan when it comes down to make the government more efficient. Especially Musk has repeatedly mentioned about the bloated budget from Pentagon, the Department of Defense of the United States. Now, those are the things that the lawmakers are looking forward to know and looking forward to understand. I want to go back a little bit to the point about cryptocurrency and also investing in America when it comes to economy. Also appointed last night throughout the Trump administration or Trump transition team mentioned about he and the team is going to appoint a SAR specifically working on AI, artificial intelligence, and cryptocurrency. Now, this is going to be something that has never been done before. It's a newly created advisory panel specifically focusing on crypto currency and also digital payments. This is something that Trump administration believes to be the two key or main areas that could increase America's competitiveness, especially if we're looking at the nation or the BRICS nations that has been looking for other payment systems and doing de-dollarizations as a form of payment in their own countries. Susan.
Great, Virginia. Well, thank you so much for all of that. Have a lovely weekend, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.